Well, hello, my friends, and welcome back to another episode of the Homebrew Happy Hour. This is the show where we supply the answers to your homebrewing questions and discuss all things related to craft beer. Not really today, but normally we do. And if you have a question you'd like us to discuss on a future episode, you could go to HomebrewHappyHour.com, click on that submit a question link at the top of the page, or even better, call it in to 325-305-6107. Leave a voicemail. You know you want to. You know I want you to. It makes everybody happy. I am your host, Joshua Stubing. I am joined by my partner who went with me to HomebrewCon for Father's Day weekend, my father, Strap Stubing. I was trying to think of a title to give you, but no, that's it. Janitorial extraordinaire, custodial extraordinaire. Brew Day Live this Friday. I'll get into that. I'll do this. Actually, you know what? Let me do the small talk up front first, because this whole episode is basically small talk. The relevant small talk, though, we are doing Brew Day Live, 10 a.m. Central, this Friday, the 27th? What's this Friday?
6th.
Is it? Today's Wednesday.
Yes, today's the 24th.
24th, 25th, 26th. 10 a.m. Central, live at youtube.com/homebrew happy hour. Don't miss it out. It's always a good time, where we'll be brewing the Boulevard Unfiltered Wheat Clone. And it's not too late if you want to brew it too. Go to patreon.com/homebrew happy hour. Join a recipe receiving tier, or if you don't want to, that's fine. You can buy it outright. I give you options. You're an adult. Do whatever you want. I don't care. But go to patreon.com/homebrew happy hour to learn more. You can join any tier, and I'd appreciate it. Even the free tier, and I'd appreciate it. I believe the Trub Club on Patreon is up to 238 members as of recording right now. Yes, and 4 of them pay, so it's great. We are on the road. For me, I'm almost not unemployed. Mom, look at me. But anyway, hey, they found my lights. I'm Mocha's pajamas.
And they're going to put them aside.
And they're going to put them aside for me. They're in the office. Woo! They're like $170, so they're not like expensive, but that's not cheap. I don't want to replace them. I'm not going to edit this out because that requires more work. This morning did an episode with Lorena, which publishes on Friday. Heads up, if y'all haven't paid attention, because I don't actually think I've mentioned it on an episode. Publishing day, I brought it up on the Trub Club's Patreon page.
I saw it.
Changing now to Fridays. From Thursday to Friday, the vast majority of people said they didn't care. So I took that as encouragement. Fridays helps me out logistically. This year's been the biggest year of people flaking on me or having to reschedule. That's a much nicer way to put it.
Yeah.
Last minute, they're not flakes, but some of them are. But they've had to reschedule. Whatever. When I have to get, like, I normally record on a Tuesday or a Wednesday. If I'm accommodating someone because they're like, oh, I really can only do it Thursday morning. Okay, I can get it published Thursday afternoon if we record Thursday morning. If I have to reschedule, postpone, cancel that interview in the 11th hour,
you missed it.
It's very hard to come up with backup content. Although Lorena has been extremely accommodating to, hey, are you available? Yeah, how long? Like an hour? Okay, sure, I can be ready in an hour. I hate doing that to her, though. So moving it to Friday just helps me out logistically. And so new episodes will be publishing out on Friday. This week, you're in for a treat because we're publishing this on the Thursday like we used to do. And then a new episode as well on Friday. Because last week, I didn't do any episode.
Nope, this is last week's episode.
This is last week's episode. There you go. And I'll use that to segue. The reason I didn't, not just because I did not priorly plan, therefore I had piss poor performance. But mainly, we were on the road to HomebrewCon. We flew into Nashville, Tennessee, rented a car, drove to Pigeon Forge, did touristy stuff, stayed in Cherokee, North Carolina, the heart of the Smoky Mountains, beautiful. Gambled, I don't want to talk about it. And then drove to Asheville where we had HomebrewCon. And that's what this episode is. It is a recap of our experience. This was my 8th or 9th HomebrewCon, and this was your very first.
My first.
So I was going to do the recap episode by myself, and I thought, why? You went with me. It was your first time. I'd love to hear the perspective of someone who's never been before.
Sure.
And not even a member of the AHA. Don't tell them that. He was there the whole time and he's not a member. But so we have a lot to talk about. I made bullet points. This episode is brought to you by Cellar Science. For years, homebrewers have been told they have to choose. Do you want the quality of liquid yeast or the convenience of dry? Well, Cellar Science flipped the script. They're proving that dry yeast isn't just a backup plan anymore. It's the upgrade.
Cellar Science offers premium dry yeast that delivers higher cell counts than typical liquid pitches, meaning you get a stronger, healthier fermentation without the hassle. And the best part? You can direct pitch right into your wort, no starters, no waiting, just brewing. Whether you need their new West Coast strain for a classic American IPA or jungle for a massive fruity estery flavor, they've got your next batch covered. It's quality yeast that doesn't break the bank. Save time, save money, and brew better beer with Cellar Science.
And let me make sure I went through all the small talk. Unfiltered Wheat, Brewed Live episodes will now be published on Fridays. That's it. Perfect. Small talk's done. Start that timer. Or
Let's
stop
go.
that timer. HomebrewCon 2026. As quick a recap as I can give on HomebrewCon, it is the flagship conference for the American Homebrewers Association. They've been doing it. I believe technically the first one was with Great American Beer Festival in like 80 something. It's been around
Really?
forever. Well, the 50th anniversary of the AHA is next year.
Yep.
And I don't think they've always done HomebrewCon since they've existed, but I know Charlie Papazian, he started Great American Beer Festival, which is when I think, and this is, I like to say things in confidence so y'all will comment on the videos and tell me I'm wrong. It helps the algorithm either way. I think the first NHC, the competition, National Homebrew Competition, was with the Great American Beer Festival. Okay. I'm pretty sure. I don't know what year, but I think that's how it started. Then I think HomebrewCon was a part, like the home brewing conference is what it was called.
Yep.
I think it started at the same time as GABF. And then I don't know when it became its own thing. As long as I've been in the industry, 18-ish years, it's been its own standalone thing in the summer. Has been the highlight of homebrewers that have gone. I don't know if you've always had to be an AHA member. I think most people that go to a show like this would be.
Yeah.
If you're not working it, like you were a cameraman. You were working
absolutely.
it.
You were. I'm still tired. I'm still recovering.
That's right. Yes, that's right.
Heavy camera.
Did the check clear that I give you?
It hasn't.
Okay.
And besides that, I was expecting double.
Do that next Wednesday. Cash it next Wednesday. Stubing Productions LLC has to put some money in the bank first. But the show, I have incredibly good memories. I've traditionally worked it. We've always had a booth for Keg Connection. One year we did just CM Becker. One year we did Keg Connection, CM Becker, Brewer's Friend, and Homebrew Supply. All in one, it was a triangle, so we kind of merged Homebrew Supply and Keg Connection in one third. CM Becker had its own third, and Brewer's Friend had its own third, because we've been friends
in one booth.
All in one booth space.
Yeah.
Yep. All in one booth space. Like I said, great memories. The sessions have always been good. What you looking at? You're distracted.
Pour me something here in a minute.
Oh, yeah. Do what you want. I'm drinking handcrafted soda from Mochas and Javas. That's what I was filming earlier, and rushed over here was a lot of content for them. Either way, HomebrewCon, the flagship conference, it's been weird basically since COVID. In 2020, I gave a presentation with Todd and James, and it was HomebrewCon online. And then 2021, I think they did it online as well. I don't remember. They went back in person, either 22 or 23. I want to say it was 22 at San Diego. And I thought it was a success. Like San Diego, what a great beer town. What a great town to have a summer event in, because the weather is perfect. And I thought the turnout was good and club night was fun. But there was a weird turn between the BA, the Brewers Association, who was over the AHA. And I don't know if the AHA was just costing them too much money, but they stopped doing HomebrewCon and eventually the AHA broke off from the BA. They're now their own independent organization, as you know, because they stress that every time they talk. Like, woo, we're independent.
Help me out. BA is over commercial breweries.
Craft breweries.
Craft breweries, but not home brewers.
Not anymore.
And AHA was a subsidiary of some form of BA.
Even though, again, someone correct me in the comments, I'm pretty confident the AHA was first, that Charlie did that first, then started the Brewers Association.
Because there were no craft beers when Charlie started it.
Yeah.
Or limited.
There was no defined craft beer.
Sure, yeah.
Like now the BA has crafted their definition.
Sure.
For better or for worse.
Yeah.
And they have come up, but I do think the AHA precedes the BA.
Okay.
Correct me again, but I'm pretty sure on that. we can just glance over the actual travel part at first, but I left my home at 4 a.m. on Wednesday of last week, and we had what was our flight? 6? No, it wasn't. It was 7 a.m. flight.
Yes, 7 a.m.
7 a.m. flight. Uneventful, wonderful. Flew into Nashville. Have you ever been to Nashville before?
I've driven through. I've never landed, never been to the airport.
Yeah.
Driven through, and that was about it.
Yeah. And that was our experience then too.
Yeah.
We rented a car.
Got out of town.
Got out of town. I know this is a HomebrewCon recap, but one thing I want to emphasize, we drove straight to Pigeon Forge, which was 3 hours and some change.
Yeah.
Yeah. And did Alpine coasters, insert footage here. Oh my gosh. Dude, you gotta send me your footage of the Alpine coaster.
I'll give you
give me the SD card.
Yeah, I loaded it all on my computer.
Perfect,
cool.
because if you've never done an Alpine coaster, wherever you are in the world, worth it. That was hold on, I gotta catch myself, because if I say it was the highlight of the trip, it wasn't the highlight of the trip. No. It was a highlight of the trip.
It was the highlight of the traveling part of the trip.
It was so good that, in fact, fast forwarding on our drive home, we stopped in Pigeon Forge and did more Alpine coasters. Because we had the time. And we'll get to the awfulness of the travel home later.
Yeah.
But we stayed in Cherokee, North Carolina, Wednesday night and Thursday night at the Harrah's Casino there, not to be confused with the Harrah's Casino Center in Asheville, where the event was held at.
Yes.
Same casino, very eerily similar named facility.
It was called the Cherokee Convention Center in Asheville, North Carolina.
Correct. Where we stayed at Harrah's Cherokee Casino in Cherokee, North Carolina.
Right.
I'd never been there. My adult tenure as a gambler is within the last couple of years, when we went to Vegas in 2024 for Craft Brewers Conference
and for
ADCC. I was covering that as a cameraman, and I will say I've not gotten much better at gambling. And
I don't know.
I joked about not wanting to talk about it, but I actually left plus
16 or 14?
It was plus like 16 or 18.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah. It's not that bad though, honey.
No, it's a win.
I put a 20 in on the first night, and I got, 25 back that night?
You played with it.
When did I get the first night? I think that's when I got 25 back. And no, I didn't. I got 56 back.
You cashed out.
That's right. Yeah, I cashed out at 56.
Just put it in your pocket.
And put it in my pocket.
Next day, you put a 20 in.
That's right.
And played up and down, up and up, up and down, and finally busted.
I busted out. But if
you were still up $26.
I gave you a $7 voucher from that 20.
You did.
And you turned that into like 200 something.
Yeah.
So by proxy, I'm up a lot more than $16. Eh?
Yeah, I'm only down 3 or 4 bills.
That was also a highlight, because I forgot how fun you can have in a casino if you have self-control. I like video poker. And it turns out I didn't play roulette, but I liked watching roulette. That was fun.
Yeah.
Roulette's a game I think you could play over a long period of time and not lose your butt. Usually. If you're responsible.
Yes.
Because
we bought up we can talk about it later. We can talk about it now. Bought in for $100 and played for 35, 40 minutes and cashed out with $100.
Exactly. That's what I mean. Yeah.
I was up to, I think the high was maybe 180, 165.
You were pushing 200.
You were pushing real close. Yeah. And, you start doubling up stuff here and there, and then the numbers went different.
In the same breath, there's a lot of people, my friends, who don't have self-control. We watched a guy put in $1,000, and I don't think he left with $1,000. His stack went low quick.
I'm pretty sure he rebought while we were still sitting there in that 35 minutes. Somebody put some more money out there. I'm not sure it was him or somebody else.
Big old country-looking boy in overalls.
Big old Bubba. Yeah.
Big old Bubba. I mean, he was probably, I'm exaggerating, but sitting down, he was taller than me standing up.
He's a local. He knows he knows if he was talking.
He was talking all the
dealers. He knew who they were. Yeah. He knew what they did. And
it was wild to me how nonchalant that he put in $1,000.
Well, you remember we sat down. He tipped her $50.
He tipped her $50.
Yeah.
That was wild.
10 $5 chips.
I don't know what industry he's in, but are you hiring, sir? He was so nonchalant about it.
Yep.
My one, I won't linger too much on the casino thing. Smokers. Man, we're an oppressed people. They put us in a room the size of this game room. Everyone smoking together. Their air scrubbers must have been working pretty good, because it wasn't actually offensively smoky.
No.
But when it got packed, and the second night, the AC didn't seem to be working.
Right. Didn't stay there long.
We did not stay there long. So it was for our own benefit.
If you've ever been to an airport that has a smoking section, for instance, Las Vegas.
Yeah.
It's a little room that's probably 20 foot by 40 foot. Like I said, this was probably double that in size. Yeah. but that has the sliding doors open and close, and everybody in there has something lit, a cigar, a cigarette. But like I said, the air scrubbers were, I could tell you, I came out of there and smelled my clothes and could not smell them like I do when I sit in here in the evening and
but to be fair,
smoke cigars.
We were so permeating in our nostrils with smoke, you couldn't smell anything. Come on.
Yeah, possible.
But it was a blast. The real highlight, though, of the travel part, besides the Alpine coasters, the Smoky Mountains. Insert footage here. The Smoky Mountains, I am told I've been through them, but I was like
3.5.
I was like, yeah. So I don't know why I don't remember it.
Yeah.
But they are, the camera footage cannot do justice for the beauty of that drive. And they obviously get rain. I don't think it's abnormal for them to perpetually get rain because everything was just green. The flowers were blooming. And it's, here, I guess flowers are blooming, to be fair.
Sure.
But not like there, everything was green.
Yeah.
And we were, the drive from Cherokee to Asheville took us through the Smoky Mountain National Park or National Forest?
No, from Pigeon Forge to Cherokee, went up and over the Smoky Mountain National Forest.
Yes.
Yes. From Cherokee to Asheville, it wasn't no longer in the forest, but it was part of it was on the Cherokee Reservation still.
It was, and the Blue Ridge Parkway was right there.
Coming home, we definitely did Blue Ridge Parkway.
It was like I said, absolutely beautiful. I sent home clips to my wife, and she's like, "Oh, that's pretty," and I was like, "You don't even know.
Yeah,
like you can't like." Our phone cameras and this camera I'm filming on, they're 4K, they're 8K. It doesn't do it. You have to be there.
God is good. Your eyes are 8 billion K.
Yeah, that's your point.
Yeah, you're right. It really is.
Yeah, because it cannot replicate like it's like when we go to Big Bend.
Yeah.
Except real mountains. I mean, the Chisos are mountains, but the Smoky Mountains. And I realized why they call them the Smoky Mountains. Every morning, the mist,
condensation,
the clouds, whatever. It looked like smoke. Like it was beautiful. The view we had, I don't know if you booked it that way or they gave it to us.
This is a mountain view.
It was a mountain view.
Yeah.
Even though it was parking lot here, that wasn't even, my eyes immediately fixated on it. Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
I know we have Brewing Bad, who's usually in attendance when we do our Brew Day Lives. Pretty sure he's out of Tennessee. I don't know what side of Tennessee, but a handful of listeners have told me we were going to love that area of Asheville. And knowing that we were driving there, incredible. In fact, even like Asheville, the view of our hotel, we're at the Doubletree. I don't mind saying it now. I didn't say it before we left because some of y'all are weirdos, but there were people, we're sitting outside in the smoking area, and behind us is like the electric, not junction box, what do you call it?
It was a big generator, big backup generator. Diesel in a trailer.
Not picturesque, but right behind it, between it and a chain link fence, was an overlook of the Smoky Mountains. And how many people went and take photos there while we're smoking a cigar?
Over a dozen.
Over a dozen people.
Three or four groups
sunset.
Of 3 and 4.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
It was no bad views. And then let me fast forward us. We're in Asheville. And even though we went straight to the convention center, getting to Asheville and being in there proper is beautiful. Like that town, I don't know the population, didn't do my homework, didn't make notes. But I did write on here 2 things. Don't forget to mention the views of the Smoky Mountains, and don't forget to mention how beautiful Asheville is. Asheville, very cool town. I thought being in the mountains, the climate would be cooler. It was still pretty hot.
When we, our first day travel, when we were up at the top at Cumberland Pass,
yes,
at the top of the Great Smoky Mountain National Forest, when we got out, earlier that day, it was probably 90, high 80s, low 90s.
It was like high 80s, yeah.
When we got up there, remember, it was about a 10, 15 degree temperature drop.
It was.
The sun had going down, and we were up at I didn't see what the elevation that was, 6,000 something, maybe 6,500.
Cumberland Gap or Newfoundland Gap or whatever?
Newfound, not Cumberland.
Right?
Newfound Gap.
Newfound Gap.
It is at the Tennessee. It's at the Tennessee, North Carolina border.
Yes.
And it is at the top of the Great Smoky Mountain National Forest. And
stupid beautiful.
Yeah.
Stupid beautiful. And packed. That park was packed.
Coming home, worse, Father's Day.
On Father's Day, when we were driving home.
It was hard to get a parking place.
But good for them.
And the traffic, because when you're driving through that national forest, the max speed limit is 45. But a lot of places, when there's little, visitor center or something, it's 25 or 35.
Yeah.
And luckily, going towards Tennessee, it wasn't as bad. The whole trip from Cherokee up and over the mountains down into Gatlinburg, traffic coming the other way, traffic heading east was bumper to bumper the whole time. And they were all going up there to take their pictures and
it was beautiful.
Go picnicking, whatever.
This first 20 minutes of the show, if you got anything from it, go to the Smoky Mountains. You won't regret it. It is beautiful. And if you live in that area, I'm jealous. I texted my wife plenty of times, we could live here. And then she reminded me, no, we can't. So, but I could. Philosophically, I could live there. It was beautiful.
Nice.
Day one of HomebrewCon.
Are you still paying premium prices for imported malt or settling for standard domestics to save a buck? You don't have to choose anymore. Let me tell you, friends, about Viking Malt. They are the world's largest producer of specialty malt using pristine, non-GMO Northern European barley. And because it's directly imported, you get pro-level, award-winning malt at standard domestic pricing. But here's where it gets really cool for homebrewers. Introducing their new Viking 3G Extra Pale Base Malt. It is genuinely innovative. It's a no-lots malt, meaning it's bred without the enzymes that cause beer to stale, so your kegs and bottles stay fresh way longer. Plus, it has 60% less of the stuff that causes DMS. That means cleaner beer, and you can actually shorten your boil times, saving you energy and time on your brew day. It's highly modified, extra light, and perfect for lagers or any hop-forward ale. Upgrade your next brew day with Viking 3G Extra Pale.
Before we went, we sort of pre-planned on, hey, he looked at sessions he wanted to go to or was interested in. I was like, yeah, there's some sessions I want to go to. I'm not dead set on anything. I'll sporadically throughout the show sprinkle in photos because you took a bunch of the rooms you were in, the crowd. Day one, when we get there, like, tell me your expectations in regards to did it seem like, man, there's not really that many people here, or there's more people than you would have thought for such a niche trade show?
Yeah.
Like, what were your thoughts of never being to HomebrewCon, having no expectations?
Well, so I've been to a ton of conferences, computer conferences, networking conferences, all that, where there's massive people. I didn't really know what to expect in quantities. I did notice, they have the time slots pretty much in the morning and the afternoon. You have 5 different sessions at 9, 4 or 5 at 10, 11, etc. So I had picked out what I wanted. 9 o'clock, there really wasn't any great ones. We had a 20-hour day the day before. So I told you, I said, hey, I do want to see this one on hops at 10 a.m.
Yes.
So we went, we got there about 9:30 probably.
It was, yep.
And, when we got there then, half of the people are in sessions already, right?
Yes.
But when we walk in, we had registered the day before. We got our packages. And you told me, make sure you bring your tasting glass. Whatever you do, make sure you bring that. I'm like, yeah, for club night, but we're going to go back to the room before club night. Yeah. Just bring it. Okay.
Yeah, so real quick, when we registered at the desk and we got our stuff.
I should have bought my package at her.
They give you a swag bag. If you've been to HomebrewCons past before, this was a lot less packed, but again, to be expected. I know they had a hard time getting a bunch of sponsors, and because they're not with the BA either, they don't have those strings that they can pull to get like craft beer stuff thrown in there or whatever. Sure. So it was a little light in there. It was like a koozie from White Labs or Y East. Sorry, they're not my sponsors. I don't care. But it was Y East or White Labs, a koozie. There was like a brochure for, not Brew Hardware, who did win an award later for, Homebrew Shop of the Year.
Yeah.
But it was something. And then there was our tasting glass.
Right.
I wasn't disappointed in that, but I heard some people that I talked to on the show floor, they skimped out this year. And
on the swag bag.
Yeah. And I think, I try to be not the enlightened centrist as much as there's a Venn diagram of like being overly shilling and, overlooking any flaws or just being bitter or whatever and comparing it to years past. I try to exist in the middle of that Venn diagram of like, they're a brand new independent organization.
Yeah.
I bet funding was almost nothing.
Yeah.
Fundraising was probably almost nothing.
The expo centers, other than registering, which probably what you cost to register, I would imagine they make zero on it. That pays for the venue. Yeah. It pays for the food. Yeah.
It was the convention center is actually very nice, and it's oddly structured. How you get your steps in if you were going to sessions. You got your steps in.
Yes, you did.
But the taster, when we were able to check into our room early, I told him, bring that taster back with you. Oh, there you go. Look at that. The taster Looks real good. Sponsored by Amaretti, who I'll say, they've never sponsored my show. They've always been down for the AHA. I can't remember a HomebrewCon over the last 18 years that Amaretti, if they've even existed that long. As long as Amaretti's existed, they didn't give out their flavors like they usually do.
Looking for it.
But the taster, it was good. Good quality. These are all CBC tasters, but the tasters were good. And I told them to bring it because a lot of sessions have samples.
Yeah.
Did it throw you off that the moment we got there, which was 9-something in the morning, people were already drinking?
No. So let me tell you. So we walk up the ramp to get to where we're going, or down the ramp, because you walk in street level, make sure you guys walk down the ramp, and there's this big long line. I said, oh, they got freebies. They're handing out something there. I'm going to go. And so I sent her, and it's the Voodoo Ranger. Yeah. And they have 8 or 10 different beers on tap. And so I look, and everybody's in line there, and everybody got their glass. I look, and I said, it's 9:30. And I said, whoa. He said, yeah, that's what you do. I said, okay. So I did not get in that line because it was too long for my preference.
That too.
And it was 9:30. Yeah. But my hop session, I don't believe had samples in my hops, or did they? Yeah, it did. They had brewed something with the Chinook that this guy grew. And so, here it is. It started at 10, so it was about 10:15, and they come around and
let's try it.
Poured me a sample.
Was it a pale?
And it was good. Man, don't start me lying. I tried 72 different beers on this trip.
But that's a 4 ounce to the brim. They normally do 3 ounce, but actually they do 1 ounce or 2.
Yeah. Most of the samples, because they have big crowds, they're filling half up.
Right.
Even at Club Night, they were at the start they were doing that. Later on, they know, we got plenty. They were giving you full glass.
The day one, I was tickled because I don't think I gave you a heads up that this is it's like Craft Brewers Conference. When these people are awake, there's a judgment-free zone, baby.
Yeah. Like, I can't tell you how many people in the sessions, they would take the little sample and then yes, and the lady would come back around with a pitcher and fill them up again. And
this is not only
half was fine for me.
A lot of people there, us included, this was a vacation trip.
Sure, it is.
This is. I'd like to think that not everyone's a functioning alcoholic at HomebrewCon.
But a lot of them were.
Yes.
But not a lot. A lot's wrong word.
No. Nobody lost their inhibition. I didn't see anybody lose their inhibition, which I think is pretty on par with what you think a serious brewer would be like.
Maybe the girl handing out beads
on club night
from Party Animals.
Yeah, but even then, she wasn't crazy.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, and she was giving the beads. She wasn't soliciting beads.
No, I did not have to.
Yeah, I didn't have to flash. She didn't flash 4 beads. Everything was fine, Mom. I promise. But the sessions, did you write down what you went to? Because I know
some of them.
We don't even have to actually go over the literal sessions.
No.
As a person who's never been to a show, to a conference rather, that has sessions on homebrewing topics, how did you feel the value was on the sessions you went to? And if you remember which session you wanted to call them out, that's fine. But how do you think the value was per session you attended?
I honestly, I don't recall any session that I felt like that was a waste of time.
Good.
Not a single one.
Okay.
The very first session was how to grow hops. And unfortunately, halfway through it, they showed the 35th parallel, which goes right around through, it's a longitude latitude thing. And it goes through, it's not parallel lines.
I know. Parallel.
The 35th parallel, it's not the parallel in Vietnam. But it goes right across north of Dallas. And pretty much you cannot grow south of there.
Okay.
But I'm sitting next to a guy who's growing hops in Tampa, Florida. So, it's definitely not impossible. You have to
climate control.
It's maybe so.
Okay.
Yeah,
he didn't mention it.
He didn't. Okay. He showed me a picture of them, and they were outside. But
interesting.
So one of the things I found in that particular session was, you can grow the plants all day to produce the harvest. Your plants, and this is true of fruit like plums, a lot of things. Yeah. In the winter, when there's the plant, there's nothing on there. The root ball. Yeah. You have the temperature of the ground has to be below 40 degrees for 45 consecutive days. It doesn't have to stay below 45, but every night the temperature has to drop below there, and the next night has to do it, and the next night, and I forget what the terminology is.
You get that here?
I grew hops here one year. Mom brought them home from the gardener. Not the hops, just the plants.
Yeah.
And then that was the year we had a drought.
Yeah. Oh.
And I didn't water them diligently, and I lost them in the heat. But
do you remember
very
the
informative,
what
very good
variety of hop that you tried to grow?
Mine were Cascade.
Okay.
Yeah, this guy, great story. And I hope that they...
if you remember, you can go to Homebrewers Association's website.
Is it published now? Have you looked?
I don't know if yet, but I'm saying that they will be.
And I want to go back because there's other stuff that I didn't take. I didn't take and write notes because I knew they were going to publish it.
Yeah.
Not being a member, you give me your credentials because I definitely want to look at it.
Oh, yeah.
Because we won't do that.
No, like Netflix. We don't share.
You can log in and I'll look over your shoulder.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But this guy, he got a kit to brew beer, I don't know how many years ago.
Yeah.
And everything was in there except one thing. There was no hops. Well, luckily, his friend down the street actually grew hops by a shed. And these people live in Memphis or...
So above that parallel, obviously.
They're above the parallel. And he had Chinook. So he gave them hops for them to use in the brew.
Whole cone.
Yes. And so then the next year, the guy gave them some rhizomes, which are the female root part, and he planted them. And they've been growing Chinook hops ever since. So everything he brews, not everything, he goes and buys hops if he's brewing something that Chinook just won't work with.
Yeah.
In fact, I sampled his beer at club night, and I said, your hops?
Yeah.
He said, no. And I figured what kind of style it was.
Yeah.
He said, but this one is.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, your cherry...
the cherry blonde? No, in the same club. They were out of Atlanta or Savannah or something, yeah.
But he said, I have this other one. It was a sour. And I said, oh, I'm good. I'm good.
We'll get to club night because that's always an interesting thing to talk about. But the session on hops was probably your favorite?
No. Probably big sticky stout, maybe. My favorite was Brewlosophies on the last day.
Oh,
lies, relies, and more lies, or
damn
something.
Lies, and homebrewer. So yeah, Martin Keene, who runs the Brewlosophy show,
he
on
did a
YouTube,
great job.
Phenomenal presenter.
And that whole thing was good.
Clawhammer's Kyle Brown was his lovely beer serving assistant. Kyle's the man. I got to hang out with them. We'll talk about that night too. But talking about the sessions, you not only not having ever gone to a HomebrewCon, you're also not a hardcore in regards to that was Martin Bongard. I messed up his name. Brumard. I'm messing up his last name. I'll edit that out, but I won't really. Or that's Denny Kahn or whatever. Those names mean nothing to you. No. So did you have any, with that context out of the picture, did you have any issue with the scheduling of topics that you were like, man, I wish these weren't at the same time?
There were a couple that I kind of wanted to, but when I looked at bottom line, what was being taught or covered, I said, I'd much rather go to the, I think at, I just gone to the low ABV beers, and I was going to go to the table beers. Well, kind of the same thing.
Similar, very
similar.
And
so at that time, I went to one on Quick Tips, and I was,
and the Quick Tips ones, I think, is when I got you out to go check into our hotel.
Yes.
Like 30 minutes into it, I was like, hey, and you're like, oh, let's go check in.
And I was ready to go anyway. It was, it was still good.
Adding to what he's saying, I agree. There wasn't any session I sat in and I was frustrated or regret sitting in. I will say some sessions, especially the one that was in, what did they call that tiny room? 8-9.
It was meeting room 8-9. I'll tell you why after you finish yours.
So they obviously don't have the luxury of predicting who's going to go where.
Right.
Like they have no idea if 1,000 people, all 1,000 want to attend this one.
They should have some idea.
I know. Right. Right. Okay.
No idea.
I'm not trying to be too charitable, but I mean, the first session I went to was something about keeping a small homebrew club alive. Basically, that was like the gist. The room was standing room only because there was only like 40 seats.
Was it an 8-9?
It was in room 8-9.
Okay. Yeah.
How many seats do you think were actually in there?
Oh no, there were 80.
There was 80 in there? Okay.
Yeah, I think there were 10 rows of 8, probably.
Okay, I'll take the under.
I've got a picture of it. Can you take the under?
Yeah, I'll take the under on 80. No, I don't want to bet. No. But anyway, so that session was good. But in that room, I think it, for better or for worse, encourages inner engagement from the audience because it's not a mic room. They're only microphone to record it for publishing later.
Okay.
If you're sitting in the back, if the person wasn't speaking loud, you could barely hear. But it made it more familial and more engaging. But that the warmer, yeah, a lot hotter. But the downfall of that, I'll say, and I can't name names because I don't know these guys. They would say something about what their club does, and then someone would go, "Well, it works for my club," and it's like, brother, you're not presenting. Let the presenter present, and the Q&A is at the end of it. And people, this is just me now ranting, pet peeve. How much time are we? Oh, we got tons of time. People can't grasp other perspectives because like this club was like, we are college football people. So during college football, our meetings are on Sundays. And during NFL, our meetings are on Saturdays. And but then this guy would raise his hand. And it was like the same group of guys, like 2 or 3 of them. Our club Saturdays wouldn't work. What do you suggest? And like the people talking are basically like, just whatever works for you. Members. One of them, I almost raised my hand to troll because this was like, we barely got through the first few slides and we're 25 minutes into it and they only have 45 minutes of presentation time. Yep. And one of them was like, one rule we always stick by is no politics or religion. I wanted to raise my hand. Well, sir, our homebrew club is called Only Politics and Religion. What do you recommend we do? I almost did that because I'm an a-hole.
We have Baptists and Methodists and Lutherans.
Yeah. What do you recommend? You say, yeah. But anyway, that was my only gripe. That happened in a few sessions, but the ones in the bigger rooms, I think people realized the presentation nature of what they were attending and respected that boundary where when you are elbow to elbow, basically with the presenter, you feel more comfortable interrupting.
Yep.
And even though some of them did raise their hands, I'll give them that credit. If it were me presenting and the hands were raised, I'd be like, hey man, let's save the questions for later because we might cover it because there's still 40 minutes left of my presentation.
Yes.
You're asking a question I'm going to get to in 4 slides. Let me get to it. But I agree with you. I will say there were some sessions, I don't remember off the top of my head and I didn't write notes. I really want to go see this one from this guy, but it's at the same time as this one.
Yep.
And that was a gripe some people did. But overall, again, with the short time frame that they had to plan this out, and I don't know why it was so short. Julia can expand on that, whichever word's right.
Either one.
But because she kept saying, next year's, we need it, it's normally usual to plan out for 2 years. Like, you could have planned out the last 2 years. But anyway, for the time frame they had to plan it, I was very impressed with who they were able to recruit, the topics, the level of authority over these topics that they were able to recruit, and even the scheduling out for 2 days. I'll give them an A-. It wasn't exceptional. It exceeded my expectations though, with like, oh my gosh, look who they're getting. Like they got some big names and gave good talks.
Yeah. So I was in the Big Sticky Stout on the day 2 at 10 a.m. and it was fantastic. But like I said, they have 45 minutes. Well, they kept going and going. And that particular guy specifically said, hey, we're almost done, but you know what? That next guy, he's just going to have to wait.
Uh-oh.
I'm presenting. He said, I'm presenting the next session.
Did he really? That's funny.
Yeah. I don't care. They're going to have to kick me out of here. That next guy can just wait and set up.
That's funny.
And then he did say, I'm doing the next presentation.
Okay, that's fine.
But because of that, and they're still answering questions, I didn't come out. And I came out at 5 till. And I rushed right up to the banquet hall, which was the biggest, their biggest room was the banquet hall, other than
the theater.
The theater.
Which was only for the general session.
Yeah. And so I ran up there to go to fermenting.
Yeah.
And not that I needed to hear anything from there, because we've been fermenting for over a year. But I did want to hear what they had to say and everything. Yeah. And I got up there, and at room 8-9, there's not a single seat open and again, I'm going to stick with 80, maybe more.
Yeah, let's say 80.
Not a single seat open. And on both walls, people bump to, shoulder to shoulder.
And homebrewers aren't little people.
No, not most of them. Yeah. So, I was going to stand at the door, but there was already people standing at the door. I walked in to take a picture. I said, excuse me. And the guy no, sir. I said, I'm going to come right back out. I just want to take a picture of the crowd, and I said, or maybe I won't.
I'll stand where I want.
That's right. But,
wherever they have
I want to watch that one, when I get a chance.
They don't do video.
Okay,
it's just audio.
That's fine.
And I think the slide deck is a downloadable.
Okay.
That's what they've done before.
In the very first one, I was taking pictures of slides, and then after, I don't know, 10 minutes of taking all these slides, I said, the slide's going to be, he said, yes, everything will be available and published on the HA website afterwards. And so, because there's a lot of them that I want to go back and look at.
Like I said, day 1 sessions and day 2 sessions, we'll clump them together. I give it at least a solid A minus. It exceeded expectations. The content was solid.
Oh, yeah.
And even my gripes, I got a lot from hearing about this thriving small club. Like, that's the only session I even have gripes about. And it wasn't the session. It was the people.
Yeah.
I learned a lot at the sessions I went to. It was a blast. Part of day 1 was also the content creator meetup. They called it Brew Tubers, but shout out to the actual Brew Tubers online homebrew club. I'll put their link in the description below. There is a unified online homebrewing club called Brew Tubers.
Oh, wow.
I've had them on before as guests for the podcast. No, well, some of them were in town, but they weren't at the show.
Okay.
Because it was expensive, guys. It was $340 some odd to get in. I know that's not cheap, and they lived in the area, so they were just hanging out. But Doug Piper, super nice guy. He was the older gentleman who was running camera on a lot of stuff.
Yep, I saw him.
Super nice guy. I love Doug. But he kept calling it the Brew Tubers, the Brew Tubers. And for the sake of my friends in the Brew Tuber community, I kept correcting him like, content creators or, whatever. Like, I don't think there's a copyright on it, but just trying to be cordial.
Sure.
Like, y'all are the Brew Tubers, this online homebrew club. Yeah. This meetup was for YouTubing personalities that brew. And let's fast forward to that because that preceded club night. It bled right into club night.
Yeah, I was going to go to Brew Tubers.
What happened?
I had to go back to the hotel to pick up some things and, do some stuff. And,
This guy crashed.
I'm pretty sure you said, hey, I'm leaving to go back. I said,
You did. I said, Pop, I'm going to head out that way, get there a little early. And you're like, okay.
Yeah,
I'll be there. Okay.
We had the 20-hour day the day before.
So what I'm most bummed out about, though, you didn't make it there for that meetup at all.
No, not even a bit.
I was hoping that HomebrewCon would validate my celebrity status with my father.
If I bought a camera, if I was filming?
No, I mean, you would see that actual people walk up and know me.
Oh, no, I saw that during the day before then. And at club night? Yeah. Oh, my gosh.
Took a ton of photos with people, and the whole time I was like, he's going to think I paid these people.
Did you get pictures of them?
Oh, they got pictures with me.
And they sent them to you?
I could get them from them. I got some of them. I've been tagged online and stuff, and I've been accepting the tags, and I appreciate everybody who came. That YouTuber creator meetup was the coolest. I've hung out in real life with only Trent in that whole group, who's the Brew Show. And getting to hang out with Kyle Brown and Emmett from Clawhammer, getting to hang out with Charlie Biolo from Golden Hive Mead. Golden Hive, Charlie was there, and I got there 5 minutes late to the actual meetup because I stopped to talk to people outside of the show floor.
Yep.
And I, instead of talking for 5 minutes, I talked for 25 minutes. So I get to the meetup late and none of them see me. They're all behind. I didn't know how it was going to work. All the creators were behind an actual booth, and those that brought beer, which was the Clawhammer guys, and Cityscape Brewing brought his own bottled beer. They're all back there serving and taking photos and whatever. So I was like, oh, I'll get in the Golden Hive line to troll him because we've never met in person. We're buddies now. We've been buddies online for a while, and we'll talk frequently. But I was like, I'll see if he recognizes me, and I'll be like, I'm your biggest fan or whatever. His line was 100 people long. I was like,
Charlie's line?
Yes. I was like, screw this. I'm walking to the back. I'm important here.
And others, weren't you?
I was and others, that's right. It was, Brew Tuber Meetup featuring Golden Hive, Clawhammer, The Brew Show, and others. And then you have to go ... read through their Cityscape, there's this guy, there's this guy, and Homebrew Happy Hour. That was us.
I totally planned on getting up shortly after less and getting at least before it was over.
Yeah.
And I woke up at 6:45.
It's okay.
It was a 15-minute walk.
That was on day 1. It gave me so much encouragement, those of y'all that came to the booth. And actually my favorite moment of that, there was a guy, I forget his handle on Instagram. It's a goofy sounding name, not calling you goofy, sir. You were great. Him and his wife or him and his girlfriend were there. It's called Cloggy Froggy brews or Cleffy Feffy. I don't know. I'm butchering it, but it doesn't matter because I know you don't watch the show. And let me tell you how I know you don't watch the show. I'm sitting there by Charlie. I'm like in between these heavyweights of actual content creators. And this guy's asking them questions. And then, can I get a photo with you? And his wife would take her, or girlfriend, whatever she was. And then the other person, yes, I'm used to being skipped over. But at one point, I was ready. He like handed me his phone. Like he asked, can we get a group photo? And I was like, yeah, sure. Like he hands me the phone to take the photo.
Can you get this picture
yes,
for us?
Exactly.
Sir, do you know who I am?
It felt so good because I liked being humble. It's why I do jiu-jitsu, which it's only, okay, I got time. I'm teaching tonight, so that's why we're kind of,
Are you trying to go home first?
No, not at all.
Okay.
No. No, I have my stuff.
Okay.
But I like doing jiu-jitsu because I get humbled on a regular basis. There's a lot of people better at it than I am at the gym. I say a lot. There's like 2 people. Come on.
Yeah,
let's be
a whole
real.
lot. You're black belt
Come
now.
on, let's be real. But anyway, having like the guy ask the question and me just assuming a group photo that I'd be in, and handing me the phone. I wish someone recorded that.
If I was been there.
Oh my gosh, dude. That moment, it'll live in my head as long as like Dragonfly Lady lives in my head. I'll never get it out. It felt, at first I was like, oh, you jerk. But then afterwards, like, that's the funniest thing that could have happened on this whole trip.
This episode is brought to you by brewersfriend.com. Brewing beer at home isn't just about ingredients, it is about precision. And that's where brewersfriend.com comes in. Whether you're dialing in your first recipe or perfecting your 100th, Brewer's Friend gives you the tools to brew with confidence. Their recipe builder, mash calculators, and water profile database helps take the guesswork out of the process so you can focus on what matters, making great beer. Brewer's Friend isn't just software, it's a community of passionate homebrewers sharing recipes, tips, and feedback. It's like having a homebrew club right in your pocket. Head over to brewersfriend.com today and take your homebrewing to the next level. Use promo code Happy Hour and get 25% off your premium membership. That's brewersfriend.com because brewing better starts with better tools.
But the meetup was great. Y'all are the best. The community cannot say enough good things about the actual creators themselves. DIY City / Homebrew for Life, CH was there. The best ever. I don't know if you got to hang out with him at all. You didn't because you weren't there, but on club night, he came around a few times, but you may not have been with me when he came around.
You have to show me what he looks like. A lot of people came around.
A lot of people did come around.
Let's get to club night.
Yeah, CH though, real quick, just shout, I'd never met with him, never even interacted with him. He's the man. That's worth a follow. I've never mentioned, I don't think, Homebrew for Life on here before, but his new thing, DIY SITY, DIY City, but spelled with an S. It's not just homebrewing stuff. It's like home maintenance. It's all about DIY projects.
Everything.
Yeah.
Wow. That sounds
super good guy. Cannot say that
while
enough.
drinking beer.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, he was only for
Just
sure.
no power tools.
You're electrical as you're drunk. No, him, Charlie, like I said, everybody that was there. Cityscape, Jeremy Lincoln. I'd met him in person for the first time. He's a new podcast. I'm actually a guest on it this week after our brew day.
Awesome.
But all the content creators there, insert photo now, you'll see, had a blast. It was great. It bled into club night. It was your first club night. Give your thoughts on club night, highs, lows, the beer you had, whatever you want.
I have to say, club night has to be the only place in the world, certainly somebody else does this, to taste the best beers in the world. There's no explaining. I honestly, I probably only tried a dozen, 12, 15
tried
beers.
15 or 20.
Yeah. And literally, when I told him I was asking for half, right?
Same here.
I went back to one beer twice because I said, can you fill up this time?
Yeah.
But out of all of them, I did not get a bad beer at all. One of my least favorites, I can't even tell you what it was. It wasn't that least of a favorite, but it was a something porter, something, and it just wasn't my style.
Yeah.
But every beer that I had there was, unbelievably good. It was crazy good.
Let's though add some context. They have a list, and you went out of your way to just try the things that you thought you...
Absolutely, yeah. I showed you a couple of cultures.
I tried a lot of bad beers, but because me...
you tried the sours.
I was almost about to be pretentious, me being who I am. No, people that were friends of the show, working their club booth.
Oh, come try this.
Correct.
You got to try this.
Correct. And
this sour.
As much as I'm an adult and I say no a lot in my life and empowered to say no, when someone is like, I'm such a big fan of the show. We talked for like 10 minutes. And like, my club is over here. You got to try this blueberry, watermelon, sour, kettle, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, man, I'd love to. But I'm thinking they're trolling me because if you're a big fan of the show, why are you
don't like
offering me
sours.
that? What are you doing?
They're trying to convert you.
The only gripe, and it's the gripe for every year for club night, more real estate.
I know what you're
Let's do
saying.
some more real estate. Like, I know maybe for optics, it's good. Like, oh, look at this crowd. Everyone's there. When you have it's not safe. And that's like a tertiary complaint. It's hard to get to the booth you want because people get their beer and they camp out.
And they stand there and start talking to the other guy. How's this? Blah, blah, blah.
Correct.
You can't even read the sign that tells you the 12 beers.
Correct.
Which one do I want?
Without shoving through. Excuse me.
No, we're right here.
Every club night, though, has been that way since I've been attending.
Ever.
I don't know if that's by design, like because of how their space availability is.
So
for
in this
a convention
case,
hall.
though, as you saw, and I haven't been any press, but you told me club night was a little bit smaller than normal. They had 36 clubs.
No. The Expo was way smaller.
Expo was way smaller.
Club night was not normal.
I think they had the space maybe split in half or even smaller for club night. And with only X number of vendors, they could have taken 10 feet
easy
off of there.
Feet.
And 10 feet would make a difference.
Yeah, it would have.
But what club night was 4 aisles, I think, and the external aisle on the backside.
4. Yeah.
And so, when I got there, I looked down the first aisle. It was crazy crowd. I went out. The last one at that time wasn't packed.
Yeah.
It got packed later, but you pretty much had to get your serving and then try to. The problem was you couldn't even get back out to Many times I was in there, doing stuff and just like this, and I would have to literally just go to over by the expo, out a little bit just to get some fresh air, and because it was tight. It was tight.
Do you have off the top of your head you don't have to remember the booth necessarily, but a style or a beer you had that was like the most standout of club night?
Oh, what was it?
I'll tell you mine. It might be yours too.
I'm sure yours was a Kolsch.
No. The first beer I had of the night, and I ended up, of the 15 I tried, of total pours I had, it accounted for 5 of those.
You went back.
Farfin, whatever.
Come on,
no,
really?
It's all right. I'm not going to edit that out. This is now exposing, though, how I've disabled Amber Alerts on my phone because I'm a bad person. Anyway, if you didn't know you could do that, you can disable alerts on your phone. My wife tells me every time her phone and my kids' phones go off, you're a bad person. I'm like, look, if it's my kid's kidnapped, I did it. Like, come on. I don't need that alert. Anyways, that tasteless joke. I'm sorry, Dragonfly Lady. I think they called it like Farfennugan, the alt beer.
Farfennugan was very good.
Wasn't it called Farfennugan?
Yes, it was. It was Farfennugan alt beer.
The club, it was the first one where we came in on. It was on our right. We came in on the first aisle.
Yep.
And they were Australian themed. Remember? Like they had a sign that said Melbourne this way, and they were wearing maybe safari stuff.
Yeah, why was it Farfennugan?
I don't know. I don't even know what that word means. But that alt beer, the best beer of the show. I don't know. Obviously, they didn't medal because we went to the awards ceremony. We'll talk about that later. And that beer wasn't even in NHC.
That's possible, yeah.
It was phenomenally good alt beer. And Trent had it with me, and he was like, because he loves alt beer too. And he was like, oh my God. Like, it was so good.
The last one, was it better than anything you had in Dusseldorf?
Well, I'd have to have them side by side. So in that moment, I would have said yes for sure.
I'm in Dusseldorf.
It was brilliant.
Yeah.
And like Todd and James would tell you, there's such a fine line between what I'm drinking is an alt beer or what I'm drinking is just like an American amber. But you can tell the difference. It's tangible, but it's hard to quantify with words. And this was, it was perfect. It was perfectly copper. It was crystal clear.
Oh yeah.
It was beautiful.
I enjoyed that. Yeah. I only had it once, but
I had it at least 4 times. And the one thing too, I'll say, not just because my mom sometimes watches this with you, we never overdid it any night of the show. And I think you were there, and I was trying to just impress you. In years past, I have overdone it before.
On club night.
Night. I have, because but what I think, not kidding aside, not just you, again, to boost my own ego up, I got stopped to talk a lot on club night.
You did.
A lot. I apologize because I was leaving you in the dust.
No, it didn't matter.
You were bored, but it happened a lot. So I would get a beer and drink it, and someone would be like,
"Oh, hey, man, I want you all the time."
Yeah, and then we talk for 20 minutes, and then I'd go get another beer, and then it was the best, and it kept me happily buzzed, but not overdoing it, and more importantly, just kept me happy because I was like, I'm so glad we went just for the community. Like, not being validated, all that stuff, the ego stuff is not really a joke, but kidding aside from all that, it was so cool to interact with people who we have the same hobby and they're in a community that I've curated through this dumb podcast. It felt so good. Not again for validating me, but that there is this space that we share these hobbies together and can interact with each other.
Sure.
That was,
Today's show is brought to you by Hopsterette.com. Grown in the esteemed Yakima Valley on the Pewterball family farm, Hopsterette.com offers the widest variety of hops available online at incredibly competitive pricing. It's simple. They grow hops, they sell hops, and they ship hops straight from their family-owned farm to your doorstep. Producing the highest quality hops is Hopsterette.com's passion, and they're proud to be an independent grower in the craft beer industry. Go to Hopsterette.com right now and get what you need to make your brew day better. That's Hopsterette.com.
Chef's kiss of club night. The presence there obviously was great. It was jam-packed. A lot of clubs were represented. I was happy to see that because, as I said before HomebrewCon, the AHA had to do a reasonable, not maybe a grand slam, but at least a triple with this show to convince people to do it in years going forward. And
I never been to any past, so I have nothing to compare it to. I would say they hit it out of the park. I don't know what they could have done other than some logistics and awareness. Again, because we do. That's not going to work good.
It's fine.
Because
it's 32-bit float. That's fine.
Yeah. Because we've been fermenting, and I'm so pleased with it.
Yeah.
I would have, and I don't say it's a new thing, but we've only been doing it for a couple of years. It's new
Pressure
to us.
fermenting?
Yeah. And so I would have thought they would have known to be a lot more there. They had to use the space they had. And so I'm sure they looked and said, okay, this guy's going to need a big room. Yeah. The banquet hall was the biggest room, again, other than the other stuff.
It was.
And I was at two things in there, and it wasn't sold out, but on rows of 12, there was no more than 3 or 4 seats,
Yep.
And
So
I thought they did a great job.
And club night was a great way to wrap up day one. Like, even if you only had a mediocre day, if you went to club night, your memory would have been day one rot.
Sure.
Brilliant of doing club night on night one, which it usually is. Actually, pardon me, it's usually a 3-day festival, and club night's on the Friday night. It's usually Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I believe club night's usually Saturday.
On the middle.
Correct. Yeah.
Well, I didn't know it was a 3-day.
Someone correct me if I'm wrong. Help that algorithm out. Put it in the comments below. I'm pretty sure it's always been the second night. So, wrapping up day one, great day, and what a way to end it. Day two, because we didn't overdo it, we got up and had breakfast. We took our time. There wasn't a 9 a.m. session that you or I wanted to go to, so we got there for 10. The sessions, I'll be quick. I think because we basically covered it with day one, all the sessions overall did a good job of information and whatnot. So day two was more of the same. I want to get to award ceremony. I've never been to an award ceremony.
Really?
Because we've never had any. Well, I've always been on the last day of HomebrewCon. I have to break down the booth. I have to get it. I have to palletize it, and then we usually hit the road
to drive back
or fly. Like if we've only driven to one HomebrewCon and 2 GABFs, but we usually fly, so I have to get the bill of lading. It's a lot of work breaking down a booth and palletizing it.
And then get out of town, go out another hotel.
Correct, exactly, because it's very expensive to work a show and even to attend a show.
Sure.
The award ceremony, I had no expectations. Fully catered. That was nice.
Yeah.
They served the beer from the entries of all the levels that they had. How cool is that?
That was good.
We were able to find, I found a Kolsch, obviously, and then I got a Schwartz beer from the table, and I put them in my jacket, and we went back to the hotel to smoke cigars. I stole beer. I can admit it now. The statute of limitations is only 1 day. I looked it up. It's not, they can't tell me I stole. They don't know.
No, I don't think you did. And when we got back to the room, we said, what is this?
Oh, that's right.
Who did that?
Someone put them in my jacket.
Yeah.
So scrupulous person. The award ceremony, we were there because our good buddy, 2025 Homebrewer of the Year, Wayne Doucette, had 3 entries in. I told him, unfortunately, I'm a curse. He did not win. He got skunked. I was ready to run up on the stage and get my award. but I didn't get to that chance. I apologize, Wayne.
He signed over rights for you to accept on his behalf.
Correct, he did.
Because they said they had to have it in writing.
Yeah, and that was the Fitz was in. They saw my name.
He's not winning.
We can't let him win. What did you think about the award ceremony, the ebb and flow in the presentation?
It was cool. It was good. I mean, Julia talked for a little bit, and then the other chair or whatever, and then
all the committee people.
Yeah. And they swap. They would do 10. There's 40 categories, which I like beer. But I'm sorry, 40 categories too. There's like 3 categories.
Yeah, so I was just about to say to him.
We give me 3 and cover them all. You got Lone Star, Flatterbox, and in a pinch, a bug.
Breakfast style.
Or breakfast style. But
there's 4 styles.
Realistically, I don't know how you can have 40 styles of beer. They did. And so,
when he actually griped, he was like, they did Belgian ale, and then they did strong Belgian ale. What's the difference?
2 categories, yeah. You got a Belgian. And they had the same thing for sours.
They did.
Or a different
meat,
category. Something.
Like this kind of meat, and then the strong
this kind of meat.
Yeah.
But anyway, it was good. They
congrats to all the winners.
It seems to take forever because they're reading them, and they're just going straight through. But
let me. I don't think this will be too controversial, and I'm not trying to point fingers. I'm giving a perspective of someone who is youngish, but not that involved with the people who are really involved, as in like the different clubs. To me, the award ceremony got a little boys clubby. Does that make sense? Well, like good old boy. Like, I mean,
like
not
one club was 1, 2, 3, 4.
Not boys club as in it was male dominant as much as I felt like I wasn't in the clique of, and that could be my own shortcoming of not being more involved with meeting people and being more out there. But the boomers that were there and high-fiving each other and all that, I felt like that maybe people who had never been there before, or some of the younger people that are trying to recruit, that could be a little off-putting because there wasn't an opportunity to be more like, this is one AHA, but there's like 20 people who are really like involved. Not again, the people who run the AHA necessarily. Yeah. I mean, attendees were like, to be fair, in their defense, they've probably known each other for 30 plus years. Sure. And they've
when they win a gold or a silver.
Right. I mean, like, how, though, if the AHA wants to grow more, how can they capture that feeling and make it more accessible to all the people who are in attendance?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the meetup thing, where I guess on the other end of the spectrum, thinking in real time, that gets me in trouble sometimes. The meetup night could have also done better. It was all young people. It was all, I bet I was the oldest one there at the YouTuber meetup. Okay. I bet I was. Not just behind the table. Kyle, how old are you? If Kyle Brown could tell me he's 22 or 42, and I'd believe him.
Charlie's 22, right?
I think Charlie's just graduated high school. I think Trent, he's like, I'm having a baby. I was like, you just graduated high school. Why are you having a baby,
He's
Trent?
mid-30s.
Yeah, that's what he said. I was like, no, you're not.
Yeah.
I'm 40, and people are like, bro, you've looked 40 for 20 years. But anyway, that night maybe could have done better too of getting the older crowd.
Meetup, some kind of meetup.
I'm just thinking in real time, there is a disconnect between the
winners and the losers.
The older crowd and the upcomers, and the AHA did all this, we need to do more to grow it and this and that.
I see a lot of young folks at the convention.
You weren't at the meetup. That's where they all went.
Okay.
They all went to that meetup.
Okay, because honestly, I did. I mean, as a whole, I bet the average age of attendees
52.
I'll take the over.
Okay, I was just being nice.
Yeah. It would be. It'd be real close. Yes. It might be 53 or 54, right. But there were 80-year-olds there.
Right.
There were quite a few 70-year-olds there.
Yeah.
There were
the majority was in the 60s.
In the early 60s.
You boomers.
Yeah.
Boomers. And that's which is my demographic. I love you guys.
I don't go to that to your thing, but other than those people that were there as stars, looking around, there just weren't. And if it was, a lot of times it was their dad and their son. Yeah. But even then, it was more, I would say, a 40-year-old and a 60-year-old.
There was less than 300 people under the age of 45 if I had to bet money on it.
I would, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and less than 10 under the age of 25.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Let's round up and say 15, but I would say 10. You're right. And the total count, we were told it was 1148 or 1168. It was
1170.
Let's just round to 1,200.
It was just side
1,200 people in attendance. They did say that. They did not say where HomebrewCon will be next year, but they confirmed there will be a 2027 HomebrewCon.
And we know where it's going to be.
Yeah.
Oh, I found the papers. I saw where it's going to be. You want me to let them know?
I did.
Yeah, Kansas City.
Are you being serious?
Yeah. No.
Oh, yeah, Lee, you fooled me.
Who won the Brewers of the Year?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, no,
there were two Kansas City clubs there. They're rocking, dude.
They are rocking.
And I don't know how big their clubs are. They were well represented there with population, and they had obviously a ton
You guys
of
have no idea how much Kansas City cleaned up this award ceremony.
Yeah.
They
rocked it.
They rocked it. So you're right. Kansas City's probably where it's going to be. The rumor mill I heard was it's between Milwaukee or Kansas City. But y'all know I have a big mouth, literally and metaphorically. If I knew, I'd tell y'all. Like that, I can't keep a secret.
Did you say Milwaukee?
No, it's either Milwaukee or Kansas City.
You know what I do in Milwaukee?
It's a beer town.
Brewers.
Oh, the baseball team. You're so stupid. I'm going to cut this podcast.
No, you're not.
No. So the award ceremony, like I said, I kind of digressed like I usually do. I'm just thinking out loud and in real time. There was a noticeable disconnect lacking engagement between the old guard and the new. And even though a lot of session speakers, and Drew Beecham said this a lot at the members meeting, where, man, we got to do more to get young people wanting to be involved, not just in the hobby, but in the organization.
Every neighborhood, every community.
Yeah, a home brewer in every neighborhood and a homebrew shop in every community around. I'm butchering it.
Yeah.
But either way, I don't know what that looks like, but if you do, leave a comment below because it helps the algorithm.
Yeah.
But I did see that disconnect in real time with my own eyes, so I can attest to there wasn't a lot of young people at the show, period. Mostly none at the NHC, at the awards, on their own. Like we met some younger people, but they're with their dads or with, or with their club. But the young people I saw were all at that YouTuber meetup, and it was at that less than 200 people. It was maybe, I'll round up and say 200. Of a show of 1,200, that's not a lot.
Wow.
And so if, the AHA, whether you liked it or not, they kept drumming up the importance of being a paying member. And because that's their livelihood, I get it. They do have to figure out
how to get the young people
into their organization. Like, what are the benefits? And we can talk about what the benefits are in a whole other episode, but they're quantifying it good enough to where, the young people didn't turn out in droves for this thing.
Sure.
But maybe and Asheville's a pretty young town.
Yeah.
And it's a beer-friendly town. So that's a challenge I see them having. I've been talking your ear off for over an hour, so wrapping up the HomebrewCon itself, not just the trip. Again, I still rate the overall thing as an A.
Absolutely.
The sessions for sure an A minus. The overall thing a B plus or a solid A. And the only reason to be a B plus was because it was shorter and expensive. These are not surface level, but they're financial issues of you want to get people to get to Asheville. That's an expensive city to get to.
Yep.
You wanted them to pay $350 to get in. That's a lot of bread per person. You didn't offer different packages. In years past, they offered a social package where, like, if you brought mom's not going to go to a session, but for $50, she can walk the show floor.
Or come to club night.
They did. It was $80, but you had to be a ticketed member, had to invite you, and y'all both had to be AHA members.
Okay.
So I know why they're doing that, but you're going to have a hard time getting people who turn this into a vacation to bring their spouse.
Club night, you have to have a club night, $50 add-on, whatever it is.
That was for people who didn't have a ticket.
Okay.
The add-on was only if you had a ticket to HomebrewCon and your friend was in town but didn't have a ticket, they could pay that $75 or whatever it was to go to club night.
Yeah, I said, you have to have that for, like I said, spouses, friends, whatever. Because
but that person had to be a member of the AHA.
That doesn't make sense.
I'm pretty sure. Someone can correct me. I'm pretty sure.
No, your wife's not going to be a member of the AHA.
That's why I don't think it was for wives. It was for maybe. Do you think I'm wrong?
I do,
okay,
but I don't. But I didn't read it at all. The reason I say that, if it is, then they definitely need to change that. Yeah. Because if I bring my wife and she's going to go see the Biltmore or wherever town went during the day, but on club night, I want her to come and enjoy it and meet people. She's not going to join the club.
I hope is actually the way it was, because that makes way more sense.
Sure.
If what I'm saying was true, then it makes no sense at all, and that was dumb.
And I would even have an add-on for the awards night. That was an enjoyable thing,
and catered
because the food and the beer.
But a social package for next year would benefit the AHA, because there are people who would, hey, my spouse would be in town and I just want her to walk the floor where I'll meet up with her in between sessions or whatever. And she, this year, the expo, it was great. We didn't really cover it. I'll be quick. It was a lot less people. I think it was 16 total booths of show.
Didn't count.
But the way it was laid out was nice. There was tons of space.
Yep.
And I got a chance to actually have great conversations at each booth, where if it was the old days where it was trying to be a proper show and have all these different sections, you can't visit them all feasibly and go to sessions and do all this stuff. So I didn't mind that, but it might be hard to sell a social package that only gets you access to a 16 booth trade show floor. Because then that person might be like, okay, I toured it in 40 minutes.
And most do, and a lot do at other type conventions. They have that.
So overall, HomebrewCon A. Solid A?
Every bit of an A, absolutely.
You'd be willing? How about this? If I can't get you media credentials next year because they bar me from the association.
I'm a cheapskate. Don't even ask this question.
So you would you have paid $350 of your own money to attend that show?
Before I went, probably not. Only because
in hindsight, it was worth the $350.
I think so.
Okay.
I say that. I really believe, and I don't know anything about the financials. I bet you that $350 was spent on the space. I mean, I don't think they made any money on that. No, I think if they did, it was very, very little because they had to pay for all that.
I don't think they made a dime, honestly.
They might have lost money.
Yeah, no, I bet they did.
Yeah.
It was Asheville Convention Center, the Harris Cherokee Convention Center in Asheville, pardon me.
Yeah.
It's an old, my handheld camera died.
Is it recording?
It is recording right now.
Okay.
Wrapping up. We're wrapping up anyways. Sure. And now I have to edit this. I have to actually do editing. This is stupid.
So you had asked me, I don't know if it was before or after.
It was the value there. What if you didn't get comp ticket because of my celebrity status? Would you have paid $350?
I probably wouldn't have, not knowing what it was.
Yeah, hold up a little bit more.
I would have. I probably wouldn't have, not knowing what it was. But But in hindsight, yes, I believe it was well worth $350. The value that I got attending, I think is worth it. If I would have gone to more sessions.
Yeah,
since I didn't pay. Obviously,
you didn't feel as obligated to get the bang for your buck.
Sure. Yeah. Because, But in all honesty, I would have looked at the things, and I would not have missed a session. I would not have had any spare time.
Yeah.
But also, I would have stayed the night before, so we didn't go check in another day.
Yeah.
I wouldn't need a nap because we had a 20-day the day before.
Yeah.
20-hour day, or wasn't the day before, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But yes, I think it was well worth it, and I think it would be money well spent for anybody who takes an interest in homebrewing and homebrewing good beer.
I agree completely. I think the value's there. To be fair, I've never once paid for HomebrewCon in my entire life. So the value is always there for me.
I used to go to Networkers and never had to pay, because we had vendors and or
and I guess people don't realize too, proper trade shows like that are thousands of dollars for an attendee. Like, have you ever looked at,
because businesses are paying it.
Exactly.
Nobody pays it out of their pocket.
This is a conference, not a trade show. And I've always wondered how trade shows even have survived. Like, why are they a thing still? These are meetings we can have in an email, guys. Yeah. But no, the conference though, HomebrewCon, wholeheartedly, not just because, again, I've been accused of being a corporate sellout. I get it, guys. I am an easy whore, whatever. But I think comments below from anyone who attended who agrees or disagrees.
Sure.
The value, they did an exceptional job of getting people in authority positions who are published authors and big names to the hardcores. Yeah. They got them there. That was big.
In Las Vegas, I'll go next year.
Put it in Vegas. Put it at the Harrah's in Cherokee, North Carolina.
And they have a big conference.
And they do. That. Oh my gosh. Oh,
it's not an Asheville. The problem is there's nothing you can do except go to the casino
and hike.
After hike,
we didn't talk about that. I'll insert footage. No, we did some really beautiful hikes.
Waterfalls, couple of waterfalls.
Oh, it's beautiful. But yeah, I don't want to digress too much. The travel home, I don't even want to talk about it. We got our flight delayed so late. I
delayed 2 hours.
Yeah. The takeoff was,
longer.
It did seem longer, but I left for this trip, my home, 4 a.m. on Wednesday to get to you for our morning flight. I got home from this trip at 4 a.m.
on Monday.
On Monday.
You dropped me off here at 3:12
or 3:15.
3:20.
Yeah, you're right. I left. Yeah, you're right. And I hauled butt to San Marcos. Drove way faster than I should. I didn't want to fall asleep behind the wheel.
Of course.
So if you drive fast, you won't fall asleep or something.
That's the rule.
Yeah, that's the rule. But anyways, HomebrewCon was great. If you have different opinions, good for you. Keep them to yourself. No, I'm kidding. Leave them in the comments below.
Yeah, tell us what you think could have been done better or worse.
Absolutely.
Use your pros and cons.
Absolutely. I'd love to hear more from those who were there. And if you weren't there, tell me why you weren't there. I imagine a lot of it was financial. People didn't want to drop a couple grand on a trip.
And if you're a member of HA, can you, I know it's not today, but once they load them as a member of HA, can you look at all or listen to all the presentations?
Correct. That's correct.
Just as a member of HA.
That's correct. Yeah. And which is, I don't want to exaggerate. Is it $50 a year? Give or take, it's 50 a year.
Something like
it's 50 something a year. They still do a print magazine. Now I'm sounding like a sellout for the AHA. Gross. But I will give them credit. They still do print. Zymergy, it is going from 6 to 4. They mentioned that. But still, the fact that they're doing the print is cool. They do have club benefits for, like, if your club has a certain number of members, you get the insurance covered for your club. But more importantly, all the content that's available there. If you are trying to help, what's the word I'm looking for? Grow is a word. Yeah. If you're trying to spread the joys of home brewing, the AHA is about as good as it gets for us as an organization. So why not support them if you can? And if you don't want to support them, that's fine too. You're an adult. Do whatever you want. But anyways, I had a blast on the trip. I appreciate that you came. I tried to let you pay for as much as I could let you. So thank you for that. And next year, when they have news, I promise you, we will be talking about it sooner than later. And like I said, in the comments below, let us know what you felt about HomebrewCon 2026, the good, the bad, the ugly, whatever. And if you were one of the many people who came up and said hi that I paid for you to do, even though my pop wasn't around, so I still had to pay the check will cash soon. But also send us, tag me. If you're on Instagram, tag the photo or just DM it to 325-305-6107. I love meeting all of y'all. Thank y'all for making HomebrewCon 2026 so memorable. And we'll catch you on next week's episode that publishes tomorrow, which is Friday. And catch us for Brew Day Live at 10 a.m. Central at youtube.com/Homebrew Happy Hour. Adios.
Bye.